Welcome back. It's time to get interactive. Marian Touré here. I like your coats, man. Is it like tail coats or something? That's nice.
Yeah. Why are you doing this to me? What is this?
A bustle. What's up? What are people gossiping? What are people gossiping about?
We're gossiping about what you started with, and you know, human rights. And I remember that as journalists, what I can remember is the military officer's action, which was actually called what? Touching the cheek. Yeah. The slap that our colleague received, and we were said, oh no, the hand just met the face. So that was not an abuse, a human rights abuse. So we're continuing it.
Yes, please.
So today is International Human Rights Day, and what at all is human rights? A thief steals from me, I beat him, and people scream, human rights. Anyway, we'll get into that later. The country director of Amnesty International, Lawrence Amesu, believes Ghana does not qualify to celebrate the day because of several human rights abuses purported by the state. Are you satisfied with the human rights situation in this country? And are you really confident in the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice to protect your rights as a citizen? My name, as always, is Marian Touré, and this is GN Interactive.
Joy News Interactive is brought to you in association with
Surfline. It's about time.
Yes, GN Interactive is proudly supported by Surfline. Surfline, it's about time. You will want to join the discussion. And I know most of you have joined the discussion on Facebook already, and the comments, lots and lots and lots of them. But if you're new to the show, I'll announce all the social media tools that you need. You can join us, facebook.com/joynews-on-TV. Like the page first, comment on all the posts. I'll share what you're sharing with the rest of the world. We are on Twitter. We tweet at Joy News on TV and at GN Interactive GH. You can send us your emails at joynews@multitvworld.com. WhatsApp number 054-010-9009. I am on social media at MN Touré for Instagram and Twitter, and facebook.com/Marian Touré official. So human rights have been defined as the right you gain automatically because you are a human being. It is inalienable, okay? As long as you have life, you have rights. This year, under review, I recollect that the police shot a man at Adentan and later cited the excuse that he was actually a landguard. And the police said they would investigate, but till now we haven't heard anything. People of Ajokojo were also evicted from their land, and so far they have not been compensated. And the people of Mensagini too were evicted without relocation, though laws suggest that, you know, they were right in doing so. If you don't have water to drink, by the way, it is a rights abuse. That is very simple. So seriously, many of us have our rights trampled upon every single day. And what about the Dumso? That one, I don't know what to say. I am sure the human rights abuse would be amplified, because when you turn my lights out and I don't have lights and I trip and fall, perhaps, hello, you've abused my rights. But on the serious note though, Lawrence Amesu, country director of Amnesty International Ghana, says that Ghana does not qualify to celebrate the day because of persistent human rights abuses. I wonder what you think about this. So let's take a listen to him.
I know we are not limited in terms of our movements as Ghanaians. And when you look at the political side, there's not much.
We are celebrating 20 years of human rights. For me, I don't think we should celebrate. Honestly, we should not celebrate. Because, well, Ghana, we may say Ghana has done well in terms of civil and political rights. But when it comes to economic, social, and cultural rights, we are lagging behind very much. Where is the water for people to drink? Why do we still have children in the streets? Why are people still under the trees going to school? Why are some children not going to school? Are we all having the appropriate food to eat? All these are questions to be asking while we mark 20th anniversary of our human rights.
Well, you heard it from the horse's own mouth, if I can put it that way. And you know what we do here? We go around and we ask what you're thinking. We have been out and about and be asking people what at all they even think human rights is. Take a listen to this.
I know we are not limited in terms of our movement as Ghanaians. And when you look at the political side, there's not much harassment as to what to say or not, what not to say. But whenever a right is also given to anybody, it goes with responsibility. So whatever right that we have, we need to exercise with the responsibility. So you have to be cautious of whatever you say, even though you have your freedom, you have your right, but there is a limit to everything.
Oh, I can say it's poor, very poor.
Very poor.
Very poor. Simply because, for example, if couples have a problem and they send it to wife or whatever it is because she's a woman, definitely they'll consider the woman.
But don't you think they are working? They are working with the constitution, and that they are not.
But sometimes, madam, they just bullshit the constitution.
All right.
But if you compare to other countries, Ghana is a bit different from what we are seeing now. Yeah, so I think Ghana is doing well.
Well, take it from the West African point of view, I would say the Ghanaian economy, talk of politicians, they've not been abusing citizenry a lot, and we have the freedom to do almost everything that we want to do. So taking West Africa into consideration, I think we've gone very far. But if we want to compare ourselves to the West, then I think we still have some other milestones to chalk. But for now, I'm saying I appreciate what we go through and what we experience.
I think in human rights aspect, we are doing well. It's not all that perfect, but I think we are doing well. And as time goes on, we perform well.
Yes, and that's what most of you have been sharing with us. And you know what we do here? We go all out to find out, you know, the nitty-gritties of what we do here on JN Interactive. So we have been joined on the telephone by Dennis Armour. He's actually a human rights lawyer. Good evening, Dennis, and welcome to JN Interactive.
Good evening, and thank you.
You're welcome. First question, though, what is your assessment of human rights in Ghana?
Well, it's not a bad situation, but it's a situation which needs a lot of improvement as well. And first, if you want to look at the legal framework, I think we have an adequate legal framework to guarantee human rights broadly. And the implementation mechanism, if you look at our Constitution from Article 33 of the Constitution, which is the final article of the chapter on human rights, there's a good framework for protecting human rights because it gives jurisdiction to the High Court, which is the superior court for all cases involving violations of human rights, and even cases where one simply is in fear that his rights may be violated. And also Article 33(5) gives the provision that the rights which are guaranteed in the Constitution do not exclude other rights which are not specifically mentioned but are considered to be inherent in a democracy, which means that it opens the door to international law and also the laws of other countries as far as they are considered to be democracies and help in advancing the dignity of the human being. And we have also ratified most of the international human rights instruments. And so in terms of the legal framework, we have a good legal framework. But when it comes to implementation, there is a lot to be done. In the area of civil and political rights, and usually with human rights, we like to divide them into three generations. The first generation being the civil and political rights, like the right to vote, the right to a fair trial, the right to personal liberty. With those ones, it seems that largely there isn't much of a dispute in the country now about the necessity or the importance of those rights. Except in a few areas of controversy, such as the death penalty and the rights of gay and lesbian people, that is where there may be some deviation from the international norms in the case of Ghana. But if you move to the second generation rights, which have to do with economic, social, and cultural rights, there's a lot to be done, because you still have, for example, the right to house and a lot of forced evictions in Ghana. Ghana is internationally notorious for evictions, and you hear of it in the news. That is not a good situation at all, because shelter is considered to be a basic index of human dignity. And so for a state which is able to throw a lot of its citizens out of their shelter into the cold, that is not a situation that is exemplary of Ghana as a democracy. And other issues like child rights and disability rights, education, healthcare, gender-based violence, and generally gender discrimination, those are areas where a lot still needs to be done if you compare Ghana to other countries which are democracies.
But, you know, Lawrence Amesu, the country director of Amnesty International, says we really don't deserve to celebrate Human Rights Day because of flagrant abuse of human rights in the country. What do you think about that?
I would disagree with that, even though I can understand where he's coming from.
Okay.
I think Ghana has made a lot of strides when it comes to human rights. The key agencies or institutions of the state, I think, understand the importance of human rights. And so it's indefensible to be violating some rights in today's Ghana. Some time ago in our history, people did not even respect the rights of Ghanaians to choose their own leader. People did not respect the rights of Ghanaians to have a fair trial, to defend themselves in court, to sue. If people thought you were a criminal, the kind of trial you had could be very shambolic. And today, an opposition party can take the ruling party to court on an election matter, and the dispute over power is fought in a very civil atmosphere. All these things have to do with human rights. So I think in terms of the constitution we have, the instruments we've ratified, and to some extent the implementation of civil and political rights, there is certainly something to celebrate. But it is left, such rights are often limited to the political and social elite who may care about exercising who is in power, exercising their right to vote more, or who is in power, and freedom of expression and freedom of association. Those things sometimes do not matter much to some people who may be struggling with poverty in the rural areas. And
Dennis, I wanted to find out before you go, though, what is your general assessment of Siraj as a body in this country? A very quick one. I'm running out of time, by the way.
It's currently in a terrible state. And it's supposed to be doing more of the promotional work on human rights. Very little of that is taking place. It has in the past been a very reputable and inspirational driver of human rights in this country, but currently it does not seem to be commanding that position in our country anymore, and that leaves a bit of a gap, unfortunately.
Dennis Amma, thank you very much for your time on the show. And Dennis Amma is actually a human rights lawyer who has helped us to understand some of the things that are going on in our country so far. We'll go for a very quick break. Don't go away. When we come back, I'll take your comments. Lord Kote's Corner has what's trending also, and another video blog. Stay on. Welcome back. You're still watching GN Interactive, and today we are celebrating Human Rights Day 2014. We brought Ghana into the fray and discussed how far we've come and if we're doing anything right or wrong, and even if Siraj is doing what they ought to do. We've been out there and we've been asking you again what you make of Ghana's human rights record. Let's take our last video blog for the day.
The right to move around, the right to enjoy life in a way. And there's a one that is also enshrined in the Constitution. That is, as a Ghanaian or as a citizen, you have a right or a responsibility to the state. Much the same way that you have a right to the responsibility to the state, you have some responsibilities, that is duties and responsibilities. So some of them is that you have the right to education, right to health, right to food and other things. And there is also right for freedom of association. You have the right to decide which organization or which association to leave.
Giving the person the opportunity to do whatever he or she feel like doing.
We need to live in a society where the rights of people are not infringed upon, and also where people have the privilege of living and feeling appreciated. That is what my understanding of human rights is about.
Human rights is knowing some of your rights, about constitutional rights.
Oh, madam, I understand human rights like somebody want to do something, then somebody say he didn't do it, and that I understand the human rights.
That is what everybody has been talking about. Let's go to Quota's Corner and find out what's trending on Twitter.
It's a Wednesday evening and Boko Haram is trending on Twitter. Earlier today, the terrorist group struck again, this time around in Kanu's Quarry Markets. Let's go over and check out your tweets. Okay, so the first tweet is from Musa. He says, Jonathan's BH struck again in Kanu's Quarry Markets, detonating multiple bombs. We need a leader who won't give Boko Haram space to operate. Okay, I think that's a little harsh. They are not his group. You shouldn't say that. And this is from VOFN Delta. Niger Delta Amnesty influenced Boko Haram, says Obasanjo. Okay, and the next one is from Najib Wali. The pattern of the Boko Haram bombings indicates it's a sinister and desperate working of some of the wicked political class. Okay, you think so? What will make you say that though? This is from Chika. Right, so some 2,000 people have been killed in attacks by Nigeria's Boko Haram militants so far this year. And it's from Amnesty International. Why wouldn't Boko Haram strike again when our leaders are there campaigning and forgetting the primary purpose of what they are to do? And this is from Idris Aziz. Okay, so a reminder to our leaders there. Boko Haram. Security forces avert major disaster as they uncover and defuse bomb. Wow, finally some good news. And that was from It's Lax. And there's a tweet from Iriolu Watomi. Okay, Nigerians have vexed. Some are going as far as saying GEJ is Boko Haram. And I'm just here observing. Yeah, I think you should just observe. Don't say anything. You don't want trouble, do you? I really don't know the gig about this Boko Haram issue, because one moment we hear the battle is being won by the Nigerian military, another moment it's the issue is getting out of hand. Let's actually pray that things will actually be curtailed, because this is just getting too bad and too far. 2,000 people have been killed so far this year. That is something. Now, my name is Lord Kuso. This has been What's Trending.
Welcome back. I'll take some comments that are trending on Facebook, then Steve will join me. We can wrap the show together. Roland Yabo Fine Boy begins with us today. The precursor, as always, is already there. It's getting better day in and day out. That is what you think. Let me mirror this so that we can do it. Take all the comments together. It's getting better by the day in and day out. That's what you are saying. Roland Yabo Fine Boy. Miss you, Marianne. Siraj has done so well in the sense that when you're listening to news, you get to see them working harder by proving the rights of all beings, both alive and late. Okay, Johnny says sometimes. Musa says perfect. Isaku bad. Mohammed Anas, money is used to pay rent. Shame on you. Belinda, for their wear. They only protect the rights of rich people. Living Prince, such as life. And you're sending this in from Boku. Nwakpa, God knows Billy. I think they're doing well, but more room for improvement. I'll be very happy if they can focus much attention on prisons and children. By the way, how far with the Shraj Boss corruption scandal? LOL. Emmanuel says they are doing their bit, but more room for improvement. They should follow cases of the poor and the rich so that justice is served, since most of the time the poor lose out. And that's where we drop off for today. My partner in crime, Stephen T, is back. We can wrap up together.
I'm not a criminal.
You are a criminal. Your right has been violated. By the time you jump the wall, I'll bring you down.
I'm not. But our human rights record is...
it's come far, though.
Who is the Shraj Boss, actually?
The current one.
But today she should have made a statement.
Perhaps renovating the house before.
What are you talking?
Something might have happened. I don't know.
Type boss.
Madam, if you can hear us, perhaps we can call in news at 8. You know, we can do some news.
But we thought you would have made a statement, Human Rights Day, you know.
It's not too late, by the way. We can post it on myjoyonline.com, so you can bring it in to us.
Yeah, my name is Stephen N.T.
Yes, and my name is Marian Ture.
And thanks for hanging out.
The Diabolical too. Yeah. Good evening. Enjoy the rest of our programs.
I'm not a criminal. Good evening.
Bye-bye.
Joy News Interactive was brought to you in association with
Surfline. It's about time.